What's up, guys? How's it going? Let's look at the second review for the new year. Now, this time around, we're gonna review something that I actually bought for my son because I have no affinity whatsoever to this character, nor its his design and everything. But I agree with my son that it does look cool.
I know it because I've seen him in a Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh, did you?
But it's not from the 80s.
Yeah, for sure, it's not from the 80s. Not everything that I buy is from the 80s,
Really?
Yeah, I do buy newer stuff. Anyways, so we are looking at Agent Anti-Venom, who I believe is the version of Agent Venom, or White Venom by Flash Thompson. So as the story indicates, after exposure to the Anti-Venom Serum, Flash Thompson becomes the newest incarnation of the anti-hero. So it's Flash Thompson doing his stuff.
Without the Anti-Venom, he's black and white, but with it, he's white and black.
Yeah, so it's possibly a suit to go after Venom. I don't know the background story of this.
And he's also 80 years.
Yeah, well, I think that's just a common logo, I suppose. So I think he uses his suit to go after Venom, possibly. So that's the only explanation I know. So sorry, don't take my word for it because I have no idea what this character is all about, how he's conjured up and all that. But he does look cool, so that's the reason why we are exploring the Marvel Legend version of him.
I actually also don't know Agent Venom. I only seen him in a Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah, I know. I've seen in some cartoons where you were watching and he appeared, but it doesn't do anything to me. Anyways, regardless of that, let's look at what we have as a figure of the character itself. So he comes in this nice white Marvel Legend box, so that's pretty good. And I like this sort of very in Marvel Legend new packaging, like they conform to the costume of the character itself, as opposed to like a plain Jane box. You have indication of who the character is, the nice artwork, which is always fantastic, a picture of the character itself, some descriptions which I've just read before.
And he's not a Build-A-Figure.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's part of any Build-A-Figure as such. Yeah, and then some usual gumph that you won't read. So let's open all this up and see what we have as a figure. So let's take him out of the box and see what we get. So as a price reference, okay, this one I bought it from a local Toys R Us. So what is that, about 120 if you divide it by 5? What is that in US dollars? So that's about $24. So more or less similar to most Marvel Legend what do you call that, figures.
I actually bought it.
Yeah, you bought it, but what I'm saying is for our viewers who are watching from the US, they would like to know, in US dollars, or as a price reference for anyone, from anywhere. Now the artwork itself, the bag, there's usually a nice sort of backdrop that they give us, and it has that sort of, as you can see, white sort of, is it really spiderweb? Yeah, possibly it is spiderweb and all that, and with some, venomized things that's coming from the, down. So decent, but I've always looked at the backdrop, but I never really used any of the backdrop, so I don't know why I even bother. Anyway, so let's look at the figure itself. It's split into two separate pieces. One is all these venomized, symbiote, whitey thingy that is like all this very tentacly, that has a peg, so I assume it's pretty straightforward. You just attach it to the back.
Carnage has that.
Yeah, Carnage has that. Does Venom have it? Possibly not. Possibly, yeah.
But the Carnage I'm talking about is from the Venom Build-A-Figure.
Exactly. And then you have the figure. So like you said, that there's no Build-A-Figure as such, so maybe it's just a standalone character. Yeah, and then you have the figure, and he comes with two other accessories, which is two pistols of about each hand. So I think there is a character that's meant to hold guns, so decent guns here. Not too sure what the make of the gun, but it's for one for each of the hand, and then one larger, what appears to be, looks like a, what is this, like a Hoonzie. Is that it? Is that the name for it?
I don't know.
Yeah, so this kind of gun.
Maybe this symbiote thing can hold a gun.
Could it? No, possibly not. Well, it's kind of like an arm thing, but I don't think so.
So that
I
you
think it's
can-
maybe meant for just,
So that you don't lose the stuff.
yeah, maybe just putting it to the sides of the holster and whatnot. So interesting stuff. So let's keep it aside. Let's look at the figure itself in terms of quality control. Now, pretty, most of the white figures, just like anything you buy in white, the flaws will be more obvious simply because you can see all the paint smudges and all the dots and whatnot, unwanted
What,
stuff,
this is-
defects. But in this case, the face is all nice and white and clean. That's the way I like it. There's a little bit of like a I don't know, some dot there, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Not nothing. The black
Yeah, but-
spider logo here itself doesn't seem to get any flaws. Maybe a little bit of like missing paint there, but other than that, it's okay. I think the belt buckle with all the utilities, he's really a loaded person with all like grenades and knives and whatnot, packs.
It's a bunch.
Yeah, and
of grenades.
the utility belt is loose. Yeah, there is a holster.
No, that's
No, that's not a holster. It's just like a pouch thingy. There is a smaller gun and holster, so it's packed with guns everywhere.
crazy.
Yeah, for a Venom, I don't know. Well, anyway, let's look at his legs and whatnot at the back. I think all pretty good stuff. I don't see much in the way in terms of paint defects. So all in all, pretty good. So I think I'm okay with that. Or even if the small things that does appear is kind of negligible, I think. What do you think?
It's good.
Yeah. So let's look at the articulation in the next section of the video. So finally, we have a figure that has like guns in both of the hands. The only problem is the grippy is a bit of wonky grippy. It's like the fingers are all over the place. So I mean the gun does fit in, but it's just that it doesn't grip all too well. But it's okay. You can hold and it's not gonna drop. So that's okay. Now one thing I noticed is that there's no holster to put that additional guns. I mean this is just like a dummy thingy that's in his belt. But my son has figured out something. I don't know whether
the
it's
pistols on these.
there's like this tentacle symbiote thingy and it does hold in place. Now whether that is the intent, I don't know, but it kind of looks like it can fit in that way, like the Anti-Venom with his two hands holding the guns, and at the same time you have the tentacles also
Holding
armed with guns. Maybe, I don't know much about this character, so let's leave that aside. Let's look at some articulation. The usual head going up
that much.
by that much, so which is pretty good.
It's good.
Looking down,
Ooh, good.
yeah,
That's good.
decent. Not all the way, but left, right, so that's all. Not gonna be a problem as such. His arms is gonna stretch. Bring it on, and then he's gonna go. I don't like when something is stiff and I don't seem to find the hinge. Yeah, there you go. Okay, to the front by that much, so pretty good. Bicep swivel. You have bendy elbow, double jointed. You do see the pin, so this is I suppose an older figure. Hey, hold on a minute. The lower, what is this, like a forearm? You can actually, there's a swivel, but ooh, there's no hinge to the hands. It's like one piece to the, like the glove,
Yeah, it's like a
the thing
glove.
that goes all the way to, that covers his forearm. So you can only do articulation of the forearm as such, but there's no hinge there. So that's somewhat different, I
It's still
suppose.
okay.
Yeah, and there's also something a bit more different. There's no diaphragm cut. You see that? It's one piece, hard plastic.
Maybe
So that's one piece.
maybe
Now whether that's interesting. There you go. The actual bug is actually inside. So he's actually wearing this costume. Oh, that's interesting. So the diaphragm cut is actually in the inside body, but once you put the costume, that's not gonna allow the diaphragm to move.
I don't think Marvel wants us to do
Possibly not. So he's actually wearing a costume that impedes his articulation. Maybe that's the thing. So does that mean the hands are the same? No, probably not. Anyway,
Maybe Marvel wanted to make a series, a super angry character, and this is it.
yeah. So maybe the costume is part of his charm, and he's not gonna crunch that much because of that. He has the cut inside body, but if you want that crunch, you'll have to take out this costume, and that defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Anyway, there is a waist swivel, so that's pretty good. And then you have a sort of thigh articulation, as well as like a ball joint that does this swivel as well. Yeah, double jointed knee that allows the bend by that much, not all the way, but it's decent enough. Yeah, there's no shin as such. Is the ankle articulation? Yeah, and yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so pretty good. Kiki, can you do the Kiki? Now his belt does get in the way, but the belt, you can move it out of the way. So
how?
That's pretty. It's not gonna kick. Easy.
No, it's because his leg is like this.
Yeah, I think you need to move to the position where the hinge is.
Gotta break it.
Then you kick it out, but even then, I don't think he's gonna go any further than that.
But
so
that's still good.
That's still good. I mean, yeah, I suppose he's gonna fight that way at the back. Again, similarly, it's not gonna take that away. The belt does get in the way, but you can push it up every time, and so that's pretty good. Is he gonna do the split? I very much doubt it. Do you look at that? There's thick stuff on the belt. You can move the belt out of the way, then do the split, and he does the Van Damme. Well, pretty much, not all the way. Well, that's enough, I suppose. So, all in all, I think he can move pretty much where he needs to move, because I think this buck here is not really slender, not really thick. For his articulation, I think it's an acceptable articulation. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
So let's try to pose him in several poses and then give a final verdict on this character. Right, now that we had a chance to play with him, pose him in all his glorious poses, what do we think of him? I think in a nutshell, he's not going to be one that kind of fits into any particular line or collection as such. So, but that does not mean you can't appreciate the figure for what it is, what it's worth, essentially, because I think he's a cool figure. He looks the part, and also he poses pretty well. I managed to play around with him with different kind of poses, and I entirely like what I see. So just to put him in context with some of the other figures that my son has as part of his collection. So you can see here Carnage. Now, okay, people like Carnage and Venom, for a fact that you can put him or put them in the the Spider-Man universe. I don't know whether this Flash Thompson Anti-Venom, he is kind of a symbiote, I believe, from the stories that I've read, and I did try to do some research on him just to talk like as if I know something, but I couldn't get into the story. It isn't something that I was particularly interested in, but regardless, that's what I said. He is a cool looking character. Whether he fits into the whole Spider-Verse, I don't know, or at least not in my collection. But if you have these random characters, like for instance, you have the Punisher, War Machine, or if you talk about the Venomized Captain America over there, or even this big time Spidey, who has one of the most best articulation ever, kind of one-offs, I don't see why he can't fit in. So for me, I think in that context, and the fact that he just looks pretty cool, I would definitely rate him much higher, and is definitely one that I would recommend for you to get. But if it doesn't fit into any of your existing collection in terms of the universe that you're going for, for instance, Spider-Man or whatever, maybe you can skip on that. Yeah. What about you? Do you think this is good?
Yes.
Yeah. What is the rating that you'll give?
Maybe 100.
100? No, out of 10.
Oh. 100 out of 10.
How can there be 100 out of 10? Anyways, so I take that you like it very much. Okay, with that and with that bombshell, we shall conclude. So as always, guys, if you like what you saw today, please feel free to click the like and subscribe button. And as always, I shall see you when I see you for my next review. Adios and stay safe. Take care.
Here we go, making really on, getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy, we look sexy. Here we go, making really on, getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy, we look sexy. It's so icy, 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 on my neck combination, 새로운 가간지. Here we